Have you ever wondered about the most costly cities in the world? Singapore, Shanghai, Hong Kong, London, New York, Monaco, Dubai, Taipei, Sao Paulo, Miami. These are all pricey cities. So why is this so? What makes these cities expensive? Let's examine this topic together. Welcome to Urban Marvels. Today we are looking at the 10 most expensive cities in the world in 2023. Singapore is in first place. This small island republic strikes out with its modern architecture, clean streets, and great commerce possibilities. The distinctive perspective from Marina Bay Sands and Singapore's high standard of living make it one of the most expensive cities in the world. Singapore's school system is one of the greatest in the world, and its highly developed infrastructure and world-class amenities make Singapore one of the most expensive cities in the world. Therefore, the monthly cost of living in Singapore tends to be a bit high. As with other cities, the expenses you incur depend on several aspects, such as the sort of institution you choose to attend, whether you wish to remain on campus or rent, and the location you choose to reside in. An overseas student considering studying in Singapore should budget on average between 1,000 and 2,500 Singapore dollars per month for living expenses. The currency of Singapore is the Singapore dollar. This price will fluctuate depending on your Singapore lifestyle and expenses of studying in Singapore. Also keep in mind that you will have additional charges for living costs in Singapore. This includes stationary expenditures, utility bills such as electricity or water, and amusement prices. And let's not forget food, accommodation, and transportation. Now we proceed to China and we come across Shanghai. Shanghai is known as one of the largest and most developed cities in China. However, its scale and refinement also translates into an expensive level of living. To understand why Shanghai is an expensive city, it is crucial to look at a few primary elements. First, Shanghai is positioned as a worldwide financial and commerce center. The city acts as one of Asia's key economic hubs and is home to the headquarters or regional offices of numerous worldwide firms. This raises the intensity of business and trade-related activity, raising the overall cost of living in the city. Second, Shanghai's housing market is exceedingly demanding. The increasing population and frequent migration raise the need for dwellings. Housing prices in the city remain high as a result of the imbalance between demand and supply. This affects both rentals and housing purchasing expenses, increasing the overall cost of living. Third, living standards in Shanghai are fairly high. Elements like as contemporary infrastructure, clean streets, wide parks, and luxury retail complexes make the city attractive. Yet these luxuries generally come with a steep price tag. Restaurants, entertainment venues, and other luxury services are also generally pricey, which boosts the overall spending of those living in the city. Finally, the education sector in Shanghai is very pricey. The city is home to numerous renowned international schools. However, their tuition are often costly. This increases the expense of schooling for families with children, impacting the overall cost of living. The combination of these factors contributes to Shanghai being an expensive city. Although residents have access to good living standards and work possibilities, they confront a higher expense to attain these benefits. Hong Kong is an autonomous region with a reputation as the financial center of Asia. Here, you will be met by a beautiful skyline, harbor vistas, and luxury retail districts with world-class brands. Hong Kong is known as a global financial center and one of Asia's most important trading hubs. This high economic status is one of the key reasons why Hong Kong is an expensive city. Here are a few crucial reasons that explain this situation. First, Hong Kong is home to one of the most densely populated locations worldwide. Limited land and great demand drive up house costs and affect the entire cost of living. High housing prices apply to both renting and buying, which means that Hong Kong has an expensive housing market overall. Second, Hong Kong functions as a significant financial center worldwide. With foreign corporations, financial institutions, and investors working in the city, business-related costs are considerable. Office rents, business dinners, and other work-related expenses boost the overall cost of living. Third, Hong Kong's prominence as a famous tourist and shopping destination worldwide boosts consumption expenses. Luxury brand stores, high-end restaurants, and entertainment venues drive up overall spending in the city. Tourism, especially with its large foreign exchange revenues, contributes to making Hong Kong an expensive city. Fourth, education expenditures are also a factor that increases the cost of living in Hong Kong. International schools in the city impose hefty tuition, and education costs for families with children are enormous. In conclusion, Hong Kong's high cost of living is shaped by a combination of a variety of variables, including limited land, dense population, its reputation as a financial hub, its tourist attractiveness, and education expenditures. These factors contribute to Hong Kong being an expensive city, resulting in a higher cost of living for people. In the center of Europe, London. This historic city is famous for Buckingham Palace, Big Ben, and the dramatic atmosphere of the West End. It also offers lots of variety, from upscale shops to Michelin-starred eateries. London is regarded internationally as the center of finance, culture, art, and trade. However, this prominent status is founded on a number of elements that make the city pricey in terms of cost of living. The first is that London is a worldwide financial center. The city is home to many international financial institutions, which boosts business-related expenses. High office leasing prices enhance the cost of conducting business for enterprises, which in turn increases the overall cost of living. Second, housing expenses play a major part in London's affordability. Limited land and tremendous demand push higher housing prices. Both rental and purchase costs are relatively high, especially in districts close to the city centre. This affects the overall cost of life for Londoners. Third, the fact that London is a cultural and social centre of appeal also drives up expenditures. World-renowned museums, theatres, restaurants, and retail centres enhance consumption expenses. Luxury brand stores and businesses offering a high degree of service enhance the overall expense of living. Fourth, transportation costs also affect London's affordability. Despite having a high-quality public transport infrastructure, transport prices are often exorbitant. Especially for people who travel every day for work, transportation costs are an essential concern. Finally, education prices are also a factor that impacts the cost of living in London. The city is home to world-renowned universities, although their tuition fees are sometimes exorbitant. The combination of these elements contributes to London becoming an expensive city. Those living in the city confront a higher expense to get benefits such as good living standards, economic possibilities, and cultural amenities. America's biggest metropolis, New York. The huge skyscrapers of the World Trade Center, the tranquil environment of Central Park, and the glitter of Times Square make this metropolis special. However, this luxury comes at a price. New York is a city that stands out as an economic, cultural, and financial center across the world. However, its fame and status is built on a number of factors that make the city's cost of living relatively high. First, New York plays a vital role as a worldwide financial center. Manhattan, where Wall Street is located, is the heart of many financial institutions and corporations. High office rent costs increase the cost of activities in the financial industry, which in turn affects the general cost of living. Second, housing costs are a big reason why living in New York is expensive. Limited land, intense population, and high demand drive higher home prices. Housing, especially in central places like as Manhattan, is relatively high-priced, which raises the whole cost of living. Third, New York is a worldwide recognized destination for arts and entertainment. Broadway musicals, world-class restaurants, luxury shopping malls, and other entertainment venues drive increased consumption expenditures. Fourth, transportation costs are also a factor determining the cost of living in New York. Despite the vast public transit network, transportation prices are expensive. In addition, parking costs for private car use are also fairly high. Finally, education prices are also a factor determining the cost of living in New York. The city is home to world-renowned universities, although tuition fees are sometimes exorbitant. The combination of these elements contributes to New York becoming an expensive city. Those who live in the city endure a greater cost of living to enjoy advantages such as cultural richness, job chances, and diversity. Now we travel on to Monaco, a small paradise in Europe. This microstate is recognized for its opulent lifestyle. Monaco is a microstate that is linked with luxury and wealth around the world. This little Mediterranean country is quite expensive in terms of cost of living due to a number of specific circumstances. First, Monaco's lack of income tax and low corporate tax makes it an attractive location for wealthy individuals and companies. However, this leads to a high overall cost of living. Tax advantages and the demand for high-end services boost basic living expenses such as accommodation, food, shopping, and entertainment. Second, Monaco's housing market is one of the most costly worldwide. Limited land and tremendous demand push up housing prices. Luxury flats and houses with sea views are desired by wealthy persons, which boosts the entire cost of living. Third, Monaco's cultural and entertainment attractions are likewise pricey. Upscale restaurants, nightclubs, and special events influence the overall expense of living. In addition, Monaco, famed for its famous casinos, is also defined by casino and entertainment spending. Fourth, Monaco's geographical position and climate often demand essential commodities, such as agricultural items, to be imported. This increases the expense of basic daily needs. Finally, the expense of education in Monaco is also significant. The country is home to various private and respected schools, however, their prices are sometimes costly. Monaco's high cost of living is a consequence that reflects the overall affluence, low tax benefits, and lavish lifestyle. Those residing in the city suffer a significant cost to enjoy these advantages. Dubai, a Middle Eastern city known for its modern lifestyle and skyscrapers, has a high cost of living due to factors such as its diversified economy, high housing market demand, high consumption costs, transportation costs, and high education fees. Dubai's glitzy shopping malls, world-class restaurants, and luxury hotels drive up consumption costs, while transportation costs and parking fees are common. Despite its expanded public transportation network, Dubai's high cost of living is a result of its luxurious lifestyle, modern infrastructure, and job opportunities. Taipei, the capital and largest city of Taiwan, is known for its advanced technology, cultural richness, and modern lifestyle. However, its high cost of living is influenced by factors such as its economic and trade center role, housing costs, modern shopping malls, transportation costs, and education costs. High demand and business activities increase office rents and overall business costs. The city's modern shopping malls, upscale restaurants, and entertainment venues also increase consumption costs. Despite these challenges, Taipei's developed economy and modern living standards make it a desirable destination for many. São Paulo, Brazil's largest city, is known for its cultural and financial affluence. However, its size and importance contribute to high living costs. High business activity, high housing costs, diverse cultural offerings, high transportation costs, and high education fees contribute to the city's high cost of living. The city's high demand for office rental, limited land, and high transportation fares also contribute to the high cost of living. Despite these challenges, São Paulo remains a vibrant and diverse city. Miami, a city in Florida, is known for its sunny beaches, vibrant nightlife, and Art Deco architecture. However, its high cost of living is influenced by factors such as high tourism, high demand for housing, high consumption costs due to its beautiful climate, financial center status, transportation costs, and high tuition fees. Despite its luxury and economic importance, Miami's high cost of living is a result of its unique blend of tourist attractions and cultural richness. And here are the 10 most expensive cities in the world. Each one offers its own unique story and fascinating atmosphere. Which city would you like to visit? Don't forget to share in the comments. See you in the next video.